to win 2 games before he heads to the BPAA U.S. Open in Florida. He will meet Kim Herrmann, but this is Don Scutter. He knows he's got to jump out fast because Herman can very easily dictate the match in the right from the start.
The exact start. You don't want anything but an unmakeable split.
The old cliche is that's a 200 start when we bowled in league.
I'm not big on cliches anymore.
Oh, tough as a $2 steak.
Well, he gave it a ride.
He did. I stand corrected. For the past 2 weeks, I've been calling them Herman's Hermits. But they corrected me and they said this is Herman's herd that follows Kim Herrmann around to all of the bowling establishments, cheering him on.
If anything will fuel the fire of these hungry fans, it's the opponent opening.
Well, he's not starting out the way we're used to seeing him start out, with the big 10 in the pocket.
No, it's a little tough to get started against Don Scutter. Frankly, he hasn't come up against a Don Scutter yet, and even though he opened, he knows that he's got his work cut out for him. This is much more makeable than Scudder's 4-6, however.
Out of the pit. Now that will bring people alive. That will bring bowlers alive.
He didn't do anything right on either shot, but this one, watch it here. He'll take the 2-pin straight back in the pit and watch closely. Hits the curtain, and the butt of it comes back out. He likes it into the 7-pin.
That's the belly.
No, it was the bottom, Bo. It was the bottom, yeah.
It looked like the butt.
If you're Kim Herrmann, you're saying to yourself, someone's on my side.
Everything's going right.
If you're Don Scutter and you leave that open, you have to wonder if this is going to be a long game. You know, that last game was a rarity this year, Bo. We saw 2 bowlers bowl under 200, but the average has been rather high this year.
Yeah,
or at least solid.
It really has been 223 average after the first 12 games on television, and I'll tell you, if somebody wants to come out and improve their game, why don't you come over to the Super Bowl? They got some Learn to Bowl classes starting next week.
Well, this is a man who learned to bowl a long time ago, and he used all the finesse possible to get out of disaster on that one, Dave.
Threw a bad shot. He had the washout for a moment. Then he had a domino this way to take out the 2 in the head pin, leaving a spare that he's very used to seeing, a 10. He'll move cross lane, flatten the ball out, let his arm swing go right at the 10 pin. And he should make it. And he did.
Don Scutter, earlier today, beat Butch Temke 227 to 222. Had a little problems getting started against Jim Beckler, but Beckler opened the door very early on. Scutter won 197 to 169, and you see right now, working on a spare in the 3rd frame, Don Scutter.
21 pins in the hole early on, but again, doesn't mean a lot to Don Scutter.
Well, he's not going to let it get away from him.
No. No, the noise, the fans, the deficit, it's not going to bother Don. He's been there much, much too often to let a few little stumbling blocks bother him, Tommy.
Kim Herrmann has bowled twice this year, an average of 247, and he's picked up $1,500. That's not too bad for 12 frame or 24 frame. He's got those pins jumping all over. They look like those Mexican jumping beans just popping around.
Well, let's take a look at it here. A completely errant shot, a horribly executed ball, but what happens? It crosses all the way over for a perfect wrong pocket strike. His wife likes it.
She's trying to figure out how she's going to spend that $750 check again.
Those beautiful eyes. Whoa. No wonder he bowls so well.
4th frame, Kim Herrmann.
I'll tell you what, he's got him going again. His fans are behind him. He's loose, and the pins are loose. Take a look at it here. This is the shot you want to see. Head pin. Again, center your screen, doing the most of the damage, coming off, going in between the 6, the 10, and coming through to carry it out. He liked it. Don was having a little ball change. He's had to put some tape in the ball. He's got to get ready and go. He knows he's backed up against the wall, Bo.
He sure does, but Don is so capable of coming back.
Well, we're not going to give that boat away this week. I guess I can use it. So, go do a little fishing?
On the Ohio River.
Oh, no thanks. No thanks.
Don Scutter, 4th frame. Working on a strike.
A ball change that did not yield the effects that he wanted. Okay, let's explain it. You know, you people see us, you know, if you're out at your local bowling center and you happen to be there when a tournament comes in, you see everybody walking in with 2 bags hanging off of their shoulders, 4 bowling balls, 2 pairs of shoes, all the paraphernalia, and you got to know when to use it. Don Scutter was in trouble with the blue ball. Wasn't giving him the ball reaction he wanted. He picks up the red one, which is designed to hook more, and it did. Hooked right through the nose.
So he takes out the 610. That's the good news. The bad news is he left the 4-7.
Exactly. But changing balls is probably the toughest thing to do right. I mean, you can change your line, you can change your release a little bit, you can throw the ball harder or slower, but it gets to a point where a ball change is supposed to be easier. But you better know your equipment and know exactly how much different it is from the ball you just put down. Don Scutter has no choice but to strike from here to the wall.
Boy, he's having a tough time, too, you know. Some days, maybe he should get it all out here now and bowl well in Florida at the U.S. Open. But Don is having some tough luck today.
Well, there you see it there, the deficit getting larger and larger by the frame. Right now, it's, let's try on 43 pins, and like I said, getting larger by the frame, and it could jump another 10 right here. It did.
Oh boy, he thought he had that one. He's even surprised. Kim Herrmann made. I won't say he's getting too anxious, but Kim was already standing before Don even got to the line. He wants to bowl. He's in command right now, and he's got the people behind him. You think there are a lot of people here at Kipley's Pub last week watching the show. 175 of Herman's herd. Oh boy. He does that 3-step shuffle sideways, Dave.
Well, rumor has it that if Mr. Herman shoots 250 or better, the pub owner will buy a round for everyone. That's not the rumor?
No, I think you're starting it if it is. And, well, let's see. We're at Super Bowl in week 3, Del Fair next week, and what's qualifying like for next week?
Next Saturday and Sunday, we are going to be qualifying at Kingpin Lanes over in Mount Washington. The Herman's herd is so loud.
Might as well not even try when they get cranky.
You know what?
It's not too easy.
I would never, ever say this if it wasn't Herman today, but this match, for all intensive purposes, is over in the 6th frame. Don Scutter is not comfortable with the shot. He's still fiddling with his equipment, looking for a line on the lane. Mr. Herman's lined up. We'll be able to go to breakfast here, I think, real soon.
You know, I was mentioning qualifying before, and next Saturday and Sunday, we are not going to have a 4:30 shift at Kingpin Lanes. So any of the bowlers that like to come out late, I'd like to get some phone calls and have them come in early, and we'd also like to see some of the girls get out there. We have that special shift on Sunday morning. It's now at 10:30.
The high point of Don's day in this game is a light shaker off the wall where the head pin goes, punches in on overtime, takes out the 2-8 late.
In a day where you try to seek as much comfort as possible.
Yeah.
That was a very comforting shot for Don Scutter.
If he takes it to the wall, he can still shoot 213. But Kim Herrmann is on a 270 pace.
You talk about competing against yourself and not being affected by the other bowler. Kim Herrmann gets a 270. He's got high game and a TV from 7-Up.
That's correct.
Oh, right. If it holds up for the season.
That's right.
And last year we saw a high of 275, I believe, by Tucky Perez.
If he takes it to the wall, he will shoot 290.
Well, he's getting help on every frame. And I don't know, you question it. You wonder if it's divine intervention today.
I was just going to say that. Let's take a look at this. A classic shot. We call this a scout. Head pin goes to the wall. There you go. Comes across. Not only does it take out the 10, but it hacksaws the 8.
His wife is happy.
Let's see. She's saying, now let me see. We'll
That's,
go out to dinner tonight.
1,500 and 750 is...
Don't play tax, man, will you, Dave?
New dress.
When he gets his 10.99, he might not be smiling.
Unquestionable. Kim Herrmann. If he's not playing bowling the best in Cincinnati, he's one of the best bowlers right now.
Don Scutter can look forward to sunshine and warm winds and hopefully no more 2-4-5s down in Florida. He isn't giving up. Look at him. He still wants to bowl the best he can possibly bowl.
He wouldn't be out here.
He alludes back to what I said before. The score is kind of immaterial, Tommy, and I know that sounds ludicrous to say, but it really is. You're competing against yourself. You want to win, and that's the unit of measurement for success is money and games won. But you take a lot of confidence in bowling a good game, even though you win, even though you lose. Don Scutter, 213, still hanging up there. Let's go get it.
You know, I'm sorry. I saw John Gant down 70 pins in the 7th frame at Glenn Schmidt's a couple years ago, and he ended up winning.
Yeah.
It's not too much different than that.
Oh, that's true. You're bowling for pride, but too, when you're catching a plane right after this, heading to bowl in the U.S. Open, you're trying to find out about it as much about it as you
Exactly,
possible.
Tom. Exactly. And you want to carry that momentum onto the plane with you. There you see the deficit right there. You're talking at roughly 77 pins in the lead in the 8th frame. Mathematically insurmountable.
He even missed that a little bit, and he still got a break.
A little bit. It's the only thing he did right was keep it in the building. Jeez. Look at him. He can't believe it either.
8 straight strikes.
He's sitting down on a bench laughing about it. I don't blame him.
8 straight strikes for Kim Herrmann.
Set up some more pictures of Hudy over at the pub. Kim Herrmann is on a roll. He's won the game. He would like to sew up 290 for that TV set.
The pin went into the channel. It just couldn't get out, Dave. It wanted to. It knew it had a job to serve to its master, but it just couldn't do it.
What's our high game, Bo?
269.
269 by Darrell Higgins, yes.
No, not today. TV set slips away for now.
But he'll make the pins pay for it. You hear the group we call Herman's Herd, but there are other people here who like to come out and watch good bowling, too.
We have some really faithful proprietors who are out here every week. We've got Sam Coleman, our dear, dear friend, who's worked so many years on the tournament committee for the BPA from Coleman Lane. Stan and Jerry Bettinghouse are here from Eastgate, where we were the first week. And we have Jim Green, the House representative for the ABC, who's here, and we're real glad to see him this morning.
And are being treated to some fine bowling by that man, Kim Herrmann, and by this man, too, Don Scutter. He could have just quit early on, especially during the ball change, and he just kept on plugging away, and he's working on 4 straight.
He said, well, you know, the plane will be up in the air soon. We'll get a couple of those Hooties on the plane and relax on the way to Florida.
You know, I wanted to very quickly mention, you know, we had a 300 here last week by Wendell Spencer Jr. during the qualifying of the King, and I know he's going to be presented a ring by Doug Martin. I don't know if it's going to be on the end of the show today, but I'd like to mention that Wendell did a great job shooting a 300 here.
Wendell's one of our young horses in town, and if you and I have to stand next to him, we're going to feel real small, Tommy, because he's a big boy, and boy, does he throw a big, big ball.
Pins hurt after he fires a few down there.
You betcha.
Don Scutter just rolling out.
There you go. Good way to finish.
But he's going out in style. Kim Herrmann just had it from the first ball today, and he had it right to the end. As you hear Herman's Herd cheering on Kim Herrmann.